The river is quiet, but the silence is heavy. A storm is coming to Virgin River, and it carries secrets that no one can escape. Love, pain, and betrayal all flow together, and this season nothing will stay hidden for long. The trailer begins with the camera gliding slowly across the surface of the Virgin River at dusk. The water looks calm, but the air carries a feeling of tension, almost as if the river itself knows what is about to unfold. A soft whisper echoes through the background, Mel's voice faint and emotional, saying, "I thought coming here would heal everything." The music is soft, almost haunting, and layered with the sounds of distant thunder. We cut to a wide shot of the small town, its cabins lit in the twilight. Life seems peaceful, but the shadows tell a different story. A single lantern flickers in front of Jack's bar, while a figure stands at a distance watching. The narrator's voice enters, steady but dramatic. Virgin River has always been a place of hope, a place to start again. But this year the past will not stay buried. The screen shifts into a series of faceless, moody images. A hand holding a glass shakes with emotion. A pair of boots splashes through the rain-soaked ground. A window is slammed shut with force. The viewer never sees full faces, only glimpses of expressions and shadows, just enough to spark curiosity. This faceless style adds mystery, making the audience imagine what each character might be feeling. The sound of a heartbeat begins to echo softly, syncing with the cuts of each scene. It grows louder with each image, giving the sense that time is running out. Mel's voice returns in the background, stronger this time, saying, "I don't know if I can forgive him." The narrator continues, "Love is fragile, trust is broken, and the river never forgets." As the words sink in, we see a letter being torn in half, the paper fluttering into the night air. Then the camera shifts to a car driving quickly down an empty road, headlights slicing through the fog. The music builds, layers of strings creating suspense. The section closes on a striking image, a single candle burning in a dark cabin. The flame trembles as if caught in the wind, before suddenly going out. The screen cuts to black, leaving only the sound of the river rushing faster and louder. The narrator whispers one final line to end the first section. This is only the beginning. The screen fades in from black with the sound of heavy rain falling against rooftops. A door creaks open and we see the outline of someone stepping into the frame, soaked from the storm. The face is never revealed, only the shadow of their coat and the way their hand grips the doorframe. A deep silence follows, broken only by the narrator's low voice. When strangers arrive, they do not always bring peace. The camera shifts to the woods outside Virgin River. Mist curls between the trees as a figure lights a match, the sudden spark glowing against the darkness. The match illuminates part of a letter with smeared ink, words barely readable but enough to sense danger. The fire consumes the paper, curling it to ash. The music swells, tense and slow, each note holding the weight of something ominous approaching. A new set of faceless images begins. Jack's hand slams a bar counter, rattling a half-empty glass. Mel is shown turning away from someone, her voice echoing faintly. "I can't keep pretending." The sound of breaking glass follows, and the screen cuts to a shadowy figure watching from the woods. The rain intensifies and thunder rolls in the distance. The narrator's voice deepens. "In Virgin River, love can heal, but it can also destroy." The pacing quickens. Clips flash across the screen. A car door slamming shut. A set of keys thrown onto the ground. A child's toy lying abandoned in the mud. Each shot carries meaning but leaves the story untold, pulling the audience closer to the mystery. The sound of a heartbeat returns, faster now, layered with the storm outside. A voice breaks through the chaos, rough and desperate. "You don't know the truth. None of you do." The words echo, distorting as the screen flickers between scenes of conflict. A cabin door locked tight. Footsteps running across wet pavement. A phone ringing unanswered in the night. The section slows again, pulling back to the river at dawn. The water flows calmly, but the sky above is painted in red, foreshadowing blood, anger, and betrayal. The narrator closes the sequence with chilling words. Every secret finds its way to the surface. And this time the current is stronger than ever. The screen cuts to black again, leaving only the sound of the storm fading, replaced by the rushing river growing louder, as if the town itself is calling out. The silence shatters with the sound of a gunshot echoing across the valley. The screen cuts to a spinning shot of the river, water crashing against rocks as if the land itself is unsettled. A door bursts open and we glimpse only the shadow of someone running through the rain-soaked night. Their face remains hidden, but their desperation is clear. The narrator's voice enters, sharper now, almost like a warning. In Virgin River, danger doesn't knock. It breaks through the door. The trailer quickens its pace. A pair of boots stomp through mud. A drawer slams shut, hiding something metallic inside. A figure stands at the edge of a bridge, their hand clutching the railing so tightly their knuckles turn white. Mel's whisper cuts through the chaos. If we lose each other, what's left? The screen flashes to black, then bursts back to life with a sudden clap of thunder. The music turns heavy, pulsing with urgency. The faceless montage begins again, but now it is harsher, more frantic. A phone lies shattered on the ground. Car headlights beam through the mist, chasing a figure running into the woods. Someone's hand grips a piece of paper with trembling fingers before crumpling it violently. Another hand reaches for a doorknob only to freeze as if sensing danger on the other side. The narrator's tone lowers, filled with suspense. Trust is broken. Promises are shattered. And the past is no longer behind them. Each word lands with a beat, syncing with flashes of conflict. Shadows arguing inside a cabin, a chair falling over, a candle snuffed out in a single breath. Then, silence. Only the sound of rain dripping onto wood. The camera lingers on the image of a locked box being slid under a bed. We never see what's inside, but the weight of its secret feels enormous. A child's laugh echoes faintly in the background, eerie in its placement as the screen blurs between reality and memory. The music surges again, faster, louder, layered with the rushing river. We see faceless moments of violence and love colliding. A hug in the dark that looks like goodbye. A shadow raising a weapon. Someone collapsing onto the floor as the lights flicker. Mel's voice, filled with both fear and determination, whispers, "We can't run forever." The section closes with the image of the river at night, black and endless. Lightning strikes, illuminating the water for only a second before it fades again into darkness. The narrator ends with a chilling line. Every choice has a cost, and this season, Virgin River will pay the price. The screen opens to silence, broken only by the slow creak of a rocking chair inside a dimly lit cabin. The chair moves on its own, swaying back and forth as if someone had just stood up and left in a hurry. The air feels heavy and the tension is almost unbearable. Suddenly, a knock echoes through the wood, 3 sharp strikes, and then silence again. The narrator's voice cuts in deep and steady. When the truth finally comes, it will not ask permission. The pace quickens. A lantern is dropped on the ground, the flame flickering dangerously close to dry wood. A shadow races through the rain, chased by beams of headlights. We see a letter torn in half, pieced back together on a table by shaking hands. A door slams, a lock clicks, and the sound of hurried breathing fills the dark. The faceless style is sharper than ever. Only fragments, only glimpses. Just enough to leave the audience desperate for answers. Mel's voice returns. Softer now, broken but resolute. "I have to protect them, no matter what it costs me." The words linger as the trailer cuts to a swirl of rapid flashing scenes. A gun being loaded. A scream in the distance, a window shattering. A ring tossed into the river. Each image strikes like lightning, brief but powerful. The music rises into a storm of violins and pounding drums. The heartbeat that haunted earlier sections now explodes into a racing rhythm. A voice rough and furious yells, "You don't know what I've done." The echo overlaps with a softer voice whispering, "And you don't know what's coming." The tension peaks as we see the river raging at night, waves crashing violently against the rocks. Over the chaos, the narrator delivers the final warning. Virgin River will never be the same again. The last images flash rapidly, a cabin engulfed in firelight, a hand reaching out but never quite being grasped, a figure standing alone on the bridge as dawn begins to break. Then, silence. The screen fades to black and soft light rises behind the title card. Virgin River, Season 7. Coming 2026, the river's sound returns one last time. Calm now, but layered with the faintest whisper, Mel's voice. "This is where everything changes." The screen cuts out, leaving only darkness. The screen flickers back to life, not with thunder or rain this time, but with the soft hum of morning. Birds call faintly in the distance, and the Virgin River flows gently under the first light of sunrise. It feels peaceful, almost too peaceful, as if the town is holding its breath after the storm. The narrator's voice enters, low and reflective. Every storm leaves a mark, but here, scars run deeper than the eye can see. The scene drifts across familiar places: the cabin porch, the empty bar, the quiet clinic. Each shot shown without a soul in sight. Chairs stand overturned, windows cracked, doors half open. The town feels alive but wounded. Then, without warning, a faint echo breaks through the calm. The sound of a child's laughter. It lingers in the air, soft and haunting, as the screen cuts to the woods where fog clings to the trees like a secret refusing to let go. The faceless imagery sharpens again. A pair of hands close a diary and tuck it away beneath a floorboard. A blood-stained jacket is washed in rushing water, the red fading into the current. A phone lights up in the dark, vibrating with a call that goes unanswered. The music grows, slow and cinematic, carrying both sorrow and suspense. Mel's voice whispers, not with fear now, but with resolve. "I won't let the river take everything from me." Her words carry weight, echoing across the shifting montage. We see a candle being relit after the darkness, a door finally opening wide to reveal sunlight pouring in, and a hand gripping another's tightly. Hope exists, but it's fragile, flickering against the shadows. The narrator's tone shifts, stronger now, almost triumphant. In Virgin River, endings are only beginnings, and some beginnings demand sacrifice. The montage erupts again. A kiss in the rain, a shot fired into the night, a letter delivered into waiting hands, a tear falling onto a photograph. Each glimpse is powerful yet incomplete, leaving the audience on edge, craving answers. The heartbeat returns one final time, slower now, steadier, as if the story itself is preparing for something monumental. Over the rhythm, a single line pierces through, raw and determined. It's time to face the truth. The trailer slows to its closing moment. The river at dusk, its surface glowing with the reflection of a fiery sky. The camera lingers, the music fades, and the title appears once again. Virgin River Season 7, Sneak Peek 2026. The narrator whispers the last words, soft but unforgettable. Some secrets stay buried, others change everything. The screen fades to black and silence takes over, until only the sound of the river remains. The trailer opens with complete darkness. Then faintly, the sound of a single drop of water echoing into the river. One drop becomes many, until the rhythm of rushing water fills the silence. Slowly an image emerges. The Virgin River at night shimmering under the moonlight, but the current looks darker, heavier, almost alive. The narrator's voice enters in a tone that is calm yet haunting. The river remembers everything. Every lie, every loss, every promise. The screen shifts to the town's edge. A cabin window glows faintly, but when the wind howls, the light flickers out. In the distance, a figure walks slowly along the bridge, their shadow stretching longer than their body. They stop, as if torn between turning back or crossing over into something unknown. We never see the face, only the choice lingering in silence. The music begins, soft and chilling, a single piano key repeating. The faceless images arrive one after another, a locket falling to the ground and shattering open. Hands gripping a letter so tightly that it rips in two, a wedding ring sliding across a table into the shadows. Mel's voice cuts through faintly, low and trembling. If we tell the truth, we lose everything. But if we stay silent, we lose ourselves. The pace rises. A storm brews once again, lightning flashing across the river. A door bursts open, footsteps pound against wooden floors, and someone shouts from the distance, "It's too late!" The music surges, drums crashing like thunder. The faceless montage accelerates, shadows running through the forest, headlights blazing down an empty road, a chair toppling over, and a gun clattering across the floor. The narrator's voice sharpens. Every secret demands a reckoning, and Virgin River is no longer safe from what's coming. Each word is punctuated with a flash, a scream, a tear, a kiss, and then a silence so sudden it feels like the world has stopped. The heartbeat returns, slower than before, like the calm before an even greater storm. The river glimmers under dawn's first light, but instead of peace it feels like a warning. The narrator whispers the final lines of the section. The river does not forgive, and it never lets go. The screen fades to black. For a moment, there is only silence. Then, faintly, the rushing water grows louder until it drowns out everything else. The screen flickers with a sudden burst of light, fire sweeping across the horizon. A cabin stands against the blaze, its outline glowing like a warning. The sound of the Virgin River roars beneath it, louder than ever before, as if the water itself is rising in anger. The narrator's voice enters with steady weight. When the river takes, it does not return. But this time, it's not only the river that demands payment. The montage rushes forward, faster and sharper than any before. A shadow runs through the trees, chased by blinding headlights. A hand reaches for another in the darkness, fingers trembling, but they never quite touch. A ring sinks slowly to the bottom of the river, vanishing into the current. The music erupts into chaos, drums, violins, and the pounding echo of a heartbeat, all colliding like thunder. Mel's voice pierces through the storm, stronger now, unshaken. I will not lose everything again. Her words fuel the rising tension as we see fleeting glimpses. Jack dropping to his knees in despair, a mysterious figure turning away in silence, and a letter marked with a single word, goodbye. The images come too fast to fully grasp, each one teasing a story that the season will slowly unravel. Then the chaos cuts away. The music stops. The screen turns to the river once more, calm, steady, endless. The silence is thick, waiting. Finally, the narrator returns, voice low but filled with finality. This season, every choice will echo, every truth will surface, and Virgin River will never be the same again. The camera pans across the town at dawn. Smoke rises from chimneys, but the streets are empty, haunted by what has passed. A single candle is lit in a dark cabin, its flame steady this time, no longer flickering. The heartbeat slows, softer, steadier, before fading completely. The final title card appears on screen in bold, glowing letters, Virgin River, Season 7, Official Sneak Peek, 2026. As the screen fades to black, one last whisper echoes, barely audible, Mel's voice, carried by the sound of rushing water. The river keeps everything, even us. The sound of the Virgin River swells one last time, then fades into silence.